season replays, fantasy drafts, ultimate creative leagues, and what if tournament. It's Coffee Cup Games with the coach, DKM. Hey, it's Coach DK. We are continuing our series in the year 1900. We've gone through the regular season, we've gone through the postseason with the American and the National League playoffs, and now we're all the way up to the World Series, but we got to determine who's going to have home field advantage, and so we're going to use the All-Star game to determine who is having home field advantage in the World Series. But there are a couple nuances we added, several of them actually, with Coffee Cup games. So number one, it is going to be an end of season, obviously, and not a mid-season All-Star game. We believe the end of season will show us fully who is deserving of All-Star selection. Number two, it is not an All-Star game, it is an All-Star game series. There will be 6 games, not just one. 3 games will be hosted by each the American and the National League, and the teams or the cities with the best records will be the teams that will host. So in the American League, it was the Chicago Invaders, so they will host the 3 games when the American League is the home team. And in the National League, it was the Brooklyn Superbas. Ironically, neither team made the World Series. They both lost in Game 7 of their league championship games. And so they are out of the World Series, but they are hosting the All-Star Game Series. Number 3 nuance that we added is Super How, which is the Strat-O-Matic AI, selects 16 field players, 12 pitchers. We upped that number because of couple of reasons. Number one, it is a series, as mentioned. There will be 6 games, so we want to have more players, but also often I don't always agree with Super House selection and feel that there are other players who are more deserving. So we decided to make 3 players at each field position, getting us to 24, and we added 4 more pitchers who we believe are deserving of all-star caliber selection. And so that's going to get 16 pitchers, giving us a total of 40 total all-stars. We will continue that in every season. So that will go from there. Another nuance that we added is how do we determine who is the winner? First of all, we will use records. So, whoever has the most wins, they will become the home team during the World Series. But if there's a tie where both teams split 3 games apiece, 3 wins, 3 losses, then what we will do is we will use a tiebreaker, the first tiebreaker, and probably the one that we'll always end up with will be run difference. So that's the way it's going to work there. We have some other tiebreakers that we'll use. Another little nuance is the fact that the players, every field player must get 5 plate appearances. Every pitcher must get at least 1 innings pitched. And secondly, the ones who are the top go-getters based off of Super How must get 10 plate appearances, and they need to get some more innings pitched. So trying to be sensitive to the fact that some guys were more deserving, and so we're going to try to utilize them the most during their results of the regular season. And then the last one is how are we going to do the 3 games? So what we decided is we took which team, the Brooklyn Superbas or the Chicago Invaders, had the best overall record, which happened to be Brooklyn. And so they will be on the road for 1 game. They will host 2 games, on the road for 2 games, and then hosting the last game. So they have the last game in the All-Star Game Series. So we'll go American League hosting, 2 games by the National League, 2 games by the American League, and then finishing off with the National League hosting. So that's kind of how we're doing the All-Star Series. It's a little bit different, but we can make our own rules as we go, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's take a look at the All-Stars, though, because I know that's something you also want to see, who actually made the All-Stars. All right, so first let's look at the American League. We have the pitchers and then the field players. Everyone is in alphabetical order. So the pitchers will be Frederick Barnes, Jack Cronin, Roger Denzer, Chauncey Fisher, Jim Gardner, Dale Gear, Bill Hart, Bill Hoffer, Jack Cotole, Win Kellum, Waddy Lee, Roscoe Miller, Roy Patterson, Bill Reedy, Rube Waddell, and Joe Yeager. The catchers will be Doc Powers, Ossie Schreckengoss, and Joe Sugden. The first basemen will be Sam Dugden, Candy Lachance, and Perry Worden. Second basemen will be Dave Fultz, George Magoon, and Dick Padden. Third basemen will be Doc Casey, Fred Hartman, and Suter Sullivan. The shortstops will be Phil Gear, Frank Schugert, and Germany Smith. The outfielders, we aren't as concerned about positions as we are more concerned about there were 9. But based off of their positions that they normally play during the replay, we have in left fielders, we have 4 of them: Frank Gennens, Dick Harley, Topsy Hartzell, and Jack O'Brien. We have 3 center fielders: Jack Getman, Ollie Pickering, and Sox Siebold. And in the right field, we have Charlie Hemphill and Irv Waldron. In the National League, we have the pitchers: Nig Cuppy, Bill Dineen, Ned Garvin, Clark Griffith, Noodles Hahn, Pink Hawley, Harry Howe, Brickyard Kennedy, Frank Kitson, Sam Lever, Joe McGinnity, Doc Newton, Al Orth, Deacon Philippe, Rube Waddell, who was also in the American League, as he had played in both the American and the National League during the year 1900. And then finishing off is the great legendary Cy Young. The catchers will be Ed McFarland, Chief Zimmer, Billy Sullivan. The first basemen will be Jake Beckley, Ed Delahunty, and Mike Donlin. Second basemen will be Bill Keister, Nap Lajoie, and Claude Ritchie. The third basemen will be Jimmy Collins, Charlie Hickman, and John McRaw. Shortstops will be Bill Dolan, George Davis, Herman Long. In the outfield, we have 9 of them, 3 at each position, ironically. You'll see a lot of Hall of Famers in this list: Jesse Burkett, Joe Kelly, Kip Selbach. Center fielders will be Jimmy Barrett, Danny Green, and Billy Hamilton. And right fielders, 3 Hall of Famers: Elmer Flick, Willie Keeler, and Honus Wagner. So those are the All-Stars for both the American and the National League. So let's go in and let's check out our first game.